morning. Thursday morning, April 29th. Our last devotion of the week. Quite a bit warmer this morning. Supposed to get pretty warm this weekend. Jan Akins, welcome to you this morning. Good to see you. See who else shows up. Jeremy and Wendy, good morning. Alyssa Tucker, happy Thursday. Good morning to you. Richard and Charlene Van Allen, good morning. Don Hoverson, welcome. Daryl and Suzanne, back in Arizona, good morning to you. Tim and Marcy, good morning. Brandy Ankar, good morning to you. Dana Kreshak, welcome this morning. We are in Psalm 29 this morning. Good morning, Jim and Kathy. I see you there. There's my mom. Good morning to you. Psalm 29. I'm just going to read parts of it and comment. This is a Psalm of David, and it is assumed that he is observing a thunderstorm. He's from some vantage point, either out in the wild somewhere or from the roof of his palace. We don't know where he's observing this from, but he's in some place to have a vantage point of observing a thunderstorm. And so let's see how he ascribes glory to God through this phenomenon. He says, "Ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength." So he's calling out to the angels to recognize the glory of God as in this spectacle that he's seeing. Ascribe to the Lord glory, due his name. Worship the Lord in the splendor of holiness. So what he's seeing is causing a response of praise, of seeing the power and majesty of God on display, and he's talking about it. So now he's going to describe what he's seeing as describing it as the voice of the Lord. In verse 3, the voice of the Lord is over the waters. The God of glory thunders. The Lord over many waters. The voice of the Lord is powerful. The voice of the Lord is full of majesty. So you can think of the flashes of lightning and the thunder rolling. The voice of the Lord breaks the cedars. The Lord breaks the cedars of Lebanon. He makes Lebanon to skip like a calf, and Sirion like a young wild ox. The voice of the Lord flashes forth flames of fire. You can imagine lightning striking the earth. The voice of the Lord shakes the wilderness. The Lord shakes the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of the Lord makes the deer give birth, or an alternate vocalization of those same Hebrew letters is the Lord quakes the oaks and strips the forests bare. And in his temple all cry glory. And here's the conclusion after seeing all of this and observing the voice of God and the thunder and the flash of God's fire. And he says this: the Lord sits enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as king forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. So lots of us have seen the power of thunderstorms, right? If I'm in my house and a thunderstorm rolls through, depending on how close it is, those thunderclaps just rattle my windows in our house. I mean, we often will stop what we're doing and go look out the window or go out on our back porch and see if we can see lightning. And my dog hates thunderstorms. He freaks out. The flashes of lightning and the distant roll of thunder causes him to want to crawl under our feet if we're sitting on the couch or something. And if it's in the middle of the night, he'll literally come back to our bedroom and he'll crawl under our bed. And our dog previous to this dog did the same thing. He was freaked out by thunder and lightning. And so you see that in animals, how they automatically fear what's happening. And if you're out in the wild, I mean, I've been seen and observed and been in the middle of thunderstorms backpacking many times, because they're often associated with this atmospheric conditions that exist in mountains. You have the heat of the valley during the first part of summer, especially June, and that's rising up to the mountains and meeting up with cold air, and that swirls and creates lift, and all of a sudden you got an afternoon thunderstorm up in the high elevation. So when you're planning your hikes, you definitely, if you're going to go bag a peak, you definitely want to try to do that in the morning, because in the afternoon these phenomenons happen and there's likely thunder. And so we want to get down in elevation when those thunderclouds start rolling in. And they create a sense, if you're out there in it, it creates a sense of fear. No one wants to be struck by lightning. You're not, you're trying to get in a lower elevation and don't want to be in a lightning rod. And often a part of thunderstorms is hail. And when you're out backpacking and hail is dumping on you, it's actually quite painful. So you're trying to figure out, and you're always thinking, should I just kind of weather it out? It's only going to last a few minutes, or is it going to last longer? Should I set up a quick shelter? Those are all the questions you're asking when you're out in the wild and a thunderstorm rolls in. But the psalmist here, because all of it, I'm just kind of drawing attention to all of our experiences that we have observed thunderstorms, and they are entertaining at some level and they're frightening at some level. And all of these images provoke David to say, we should be giving glory to God. Look how he opens that psalm again. Ascribe to the Lord, O heavenly beings, or the angels. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord glory, due his name. Worship the Lord in splendor. And in the ancient Near East, there was a rival to observing who God was when you observe weather patterns and when you observe the created elements. And that was the god, who we call Baal, or Baal is kind of more of a Hebrew vocalization of it. And Baal was the storm god, or believed to be the one who would bring rain. And so any god who was in charge of the weather, you honored, because before modern irrigation techniques and so on, and especially in the ancient Near East, it's still true to this day. It's hard to get water to places, and you're dependent on weather. And so you pray to the God who's in control of the weather. And David is here saying the person who's really in control of the weather is Yahweh. It's the one true God, not Baal or Baal, whoever the people of this land attributes that. And we see that battle actually taking place with Elijah. You'll remember the story in the Old Testament, Elijah and the prophets of Baal, and he challenges them. Elijah prays, and there's no rain for 3.5 years. He prays again, and then there's rain. He's challenging the belief that there is some sort of alternate deity in control of these. And he's saying no, and he challenges them to the duel, remember, and they build altars, and he says, you pray, and we'll see who lights the altar with lightning. And the prophets of Baal pray for hours, and no result. Elijah gets his turn, and he says, oh yeah, and douse everything with water. We're really going to make a show here. And he just prays once to the one true God, and lightning comes out of heaven and strikes that altar and just consumes it. And it's known to everyone who's really in charge. And so when we think about psalms like this, it should provoke images of our mind of the fact that God is sitting on a throne. He is the giver of life. He is the one who has created all things. And when we go out into, I love obviously being out in the mountains, up in high elevations, and seeing the diversity that exists in creation. And it's dumbfounding. It's when we see the diverse colors and rock patterns and volcanic areas, and you go to Yosemite Valley and you see the majesty of that valley, or you go down to Arizona Monument Valley, where this kind of relatively flat plain with these giant buttes that are rising up out of how do those even get there? Or the Grand Canyon, and these kind of things leave us scratching our head. The diversity, the beauty, the color, the majesty of it all. We can conclude that that's just a mystery, and we don't have any control over any of that, and we just it boggles our mind, and we just enjoy it. We become one with nature, whatever we're going to do to observe it. Or we can say there is one God who's created it all, who controls all the weather patterns, who is overseeing all of this, and glory should be given his name. I don't go out into nature to become one with nature. I go out into nature to observe the glory of my Creator. And that's the beauty, that's the wonder we have as believers. We know the truth. We know the one true God. And when we see these elemental things that happened in our atmosphere, like a thunderstorm, or we see the beauty and majesty and diversity of creation, we know who has created that. It all points to the one true God. And it should result in glory, honor, fear, that we should give him the credit due and lean upon him. See how the psalm ends? We lean upon him for strength. The Lord sits over enthroned over the flood. The Lord sits enthroned as king forever. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. So the same God who brings the thunder is the God who can bring strength and peace. And so we serve this one true, mighty God. That all we have to do is look around and see the beauty of creation and see how powerful our God is. He is the source of all that is good. He is the source of our very existence and the sustainer of all things. May he get the glory and not anything else. We don't have to scratch our head and wonder. We can attribute all of that to the might and glory of the one true God. And we get to have a relationship with him. That's the beauty of it all, right? So be blessed today. I hope you have a great weekend, and enjoy whatever is before you, and know that God sees us and he is with us every step of the way. We'll see you either on Sunday morning if you're here locally, or we'll see you back here online Monday morning. God bless.